Hello there, PunkRockVader here, and we are in the mystic era of Axie Infinity Origins Season 2, and the new meta that has emerged is so wild. Today I'm going to be doing a Budget Axie challenge by building a competitive Bleed Rage Beast team for under 0.02 ETH, which is about $34 US or $45 Canadian money. I started by looking at some of the top 50 teams to get some idea of what kind of builds seem to be the most common, and started fitting together builds in the Axie Tech Team Builder. And the nutty RIMP beast, which is the Ronin and Imp beast, was definitely a clear favorite. Now, this isn't necessarily the order that I would have actually had my team in when I deploy them. This is just me figuring out what cards work best for each Axie. Beneath the RIMP, you can see that the other two Axie that I'm building are really working on the rage stacks for the Imp, as well as laying out lots of bleed for extra damage. So next, I headed over to the marketplace and started by filtering the cards that I would absolutely require for my RIMP. And you can see here that there were a lot of Axies with exactly the cards I wanted at some very reasonable prices. Off to a good start here, so I think I've already found my first team member. Next, it was time to start looking for my second Axie, but it turns out that Little Branch and Shiba are pretty hot abilities right now for kind of obvious reasons. So getting exactly the Axie that I wanted for this team was going to push me over my budget limit. Shiba seems to be the pricier option when combined with the other cards that I was looking for. So if we focus on getting Little Branch for this Axie and post Shiba on my third, then maybe we can find something within the budget. These fellows here are reasonably priced, but Grandma's Fan isn't my ideal choice. Nemo, however, wouldn't be so bad though. The free energy fragment and the limiting number of cards in my deck after it's being banished, that's all pretty good and really helps with my damage team, but it's still pretty pricey, so I have to be very frugal with my last Axie. So for him, I'm going to only filter by the cards that I think are absolutely necessary. Hero would be nice to have to ensure that I have lots of attack opportunities, but this isn't a deal breaker. Same with Arco for helping remove hidden shields and buffs and reflex. Nice to have, but we're on a budget here, so we have to be careful. I went with the base Bleed and Rage cards, plus Shiba, since I wasn't able to fit that onto my other Axie, to see what kind of my options were. And there were some very promising Axies right off the bat. But if I wanted to stay within budget, I had to keep my third Axie very, very cheap, because that second guy with Nemo was great. Now, Franz here has almost everything we want and is extremely reasonably priced, but putting all three together now, I'm actually over my 0.02 ETH budget, so I have to make some hard decisions here. I can't get any cheaper with my RIMP beast, so I'm going to have to find an alternative to my Believer and take one of the Grandma's Fans options that I was kind of looking at earlier but wasn't sure if I wanted. Out of the two, I chose the one with 0 breeds just in case. And with these three together, we now have a brutal Rage Bleed RIMP Beast team for under 0.02 ETH. Now let's take them into battle and see how they do. Now keep in mind that this is the first time I have ever played with this team before, and rather than do practice, I figured I'd just jump straight into ranked because I'm only a bore anyway, so why the heck not? If you watch the full Twitch stream, you can see how many mistakes and misplays I make early on, but I still managed to pull out some surprising victories with this team. Out of the 12 games, I only lost 2, and those matches were extremely well played by my opponents, and they had excellent builds, so, what can I say? So I really love this team. The aggressive Rage Bleed combos are definitely my style of play, and I'm really having fun with just rampaging through other teams. So I have high expectations for my leaderboard grinding in the next few weeks with my bloody budget beasts. Be sure to check out my full matches on Twitch and YouTube, and make sure to check back in the next few days so you can check out my second budget build for a poison team.